Hello, everyone. It's Adrian from the Pageant Project, and I'm together with a friend of the show, Gabriella Jukes, who is a Miss Universe Great Britain finalist. Gabriella, how are you?
I'm great, thank you. I'm excited to be on the show again and to chat to you again. It's been a few times. I think it was 3 years ago since I first chatted to you on the show, so it's been quite a long time.
Well, I was wondering that before we popped on, because obviously with COVID, you had a hugely long reign as Miss World Wales. How long was your reign? Three
It
years, right?
was almost 3 years, yeah. So I was going into my third year. It was around 2.5 altogether. So I was quite lucky with that. Of obviously unfortunate circumstances with
Mm.
COVID and everything, but yeah, a long time.
And and now you're back. You couldn't stay away. So before we dig into it, for people who are watching or listening who aren't familiar with your pageant history, do you want to give them a brief rundown as to what got you in the world of pageantry to begin with, and what your pageant history has been to date?
Yeah, of course. So growing up, I'd always been interested in pageants. I'd watched people that were Miss Wales in the past on television and thought I'd love to do that one day, but had no clue how to get into it. But I started modelling when I was 17 years old at Cardiff Fashion Week. And I met a few girls there that had been Miss Wales finalists in the past, and they told me how good it was for your confidence and things like that. Because I think I did quite struggle with confidence and shyness growing up. So I thought, well, I may as well give it a go. So I entered Miss Wales in 2014 and just haven't looked back from pageants. I've just loved it. I've fallen in love with the industry. I did Miss Wales in 2014, won my regional title of Miss Neath Port Talbot. I went back in 2016. I came top five. And then on my third go in 2019, I was lucky enough to win Miss Wales after working so hard for so many years for the title. I went to Miss World. I absolutely loved the experience. It was an incredible, life-changing experience. And like you said, I couldn't stay away. So here I am at Miss Universe Great Britain this year. It's something that I'd always planned to do in the future. I think this is my 8th time going to a Miss Universe Great Britain final. So I haven't missed one in 8 years. So to be on the stage this year is an honour, really, and to be amongst such incredible finalists, it's a dream come true.
You're one of the only people that I can ask this. So, as you already said, you won Miss World Wales. You had that title. Went to Miss World internationally, which was in London, wasn't it? When you
Yes,
competed
it was in
internationally.
London.
And now you're getting ready for a run at Miss Universe GB. How have you treated it differently in terms of the run up or your approach to competition? Bearing in mind that obviously when you were competing in Miss World Wales, especially the first time, it was a fair time ago. But bearing that in mind, has your approach to competing for Miss World Wales varied to Miss Universe GB?
I think, of course, it's completely different, Miss Universe compared to Miss World.
Mm.
However, I'm still the same person. It's been quite a few years since I won Miss World Wales, so I think I've matured even more and grown even more as a person. And since then, and my life has changed really, my career and everything. So I guess I've just treated it the same way as I live my life. I've continued to do the things that I usually do in regards to my volunteering and fundraising, and my passions for empowering women has all been the same. However, I think now I'm more in tune with myself. I know exactly who I
Mm.
am and what I want, what I can bring to the title as Miss Universe Great Britain. And I guess, yeah, it hasn't exactly been completely different. However, I guess my life circumstances were a bit different this time. So it's been difficult to kind of fit everything in through work as well, because my work has been quite
Yeah.
full on, especially over the past year. But I guess I think my career really helps as well with my platform for Miss Universe Great Britain. So I guess yeah, not at all completely different. However, the two pageants are, I think Miss Universe is another level.
I think most people would agree with you on that one. One of the great things about having known you for a while is that when I first interviewed you, career-wise or study-wise, which it was back then, you were in quite a different place. And what I've really loved watching, keeping a track on you, is how you progressed from studying to not only getting in the industry, but then it just strikes me as leaps and bounds, leaps and bounds. I saw your Instagram post about a live podcast, I believe you're scheduled to do. So can you just fill people in with your career? Because for me, it's been really amazing just watching it grow from strength to strength.
Oh, thank you. Well, yeah, I remember when I first came on the podcast with you to chat to you, I remember saying that I wanted to work in the sports broadcast industry as a sports reporter, but never would I thought, like 3 years later, that I'd be in this position. It's honestly been incredible, the journey. And when I came back from Miss World, of course, we went into lockdown, but it was my plan to apply to do a master's in sports broadcasting. And like sport has always been a massive part of my life. I've done everything from doing karate to netball, athletics, horse riding. I've probably given everything a go, to be honest. So I've always known that I wanted to work in sport. I originally did a sports science degree. I loved it, but when I finished, I realised that actually that wasn't the route that I wanted to go down. So I took a little break, did a bit of modelling for a few years. I was on Britain's Next Top Model, which was a huge platform for me. And I had quite a successful modelling career. But I really, truly realised that it was still sport that was my passion that I wanted to work in. So I went and applied to do a master's in sports broadcasting at Cardiff Metropolitan University. In the middle of the lockdown, which was really difficult. There had been no sport on or anything as well. So everything was mainly done from home as well. So it was quite difficult. And things have been extended. So I actually graduate next month from my master's. So I haven't even graduated yet. But wow. I've been working now in the industry for about a year full time. And it's honestly just been incredible. I've been so lucky with the experiences, but I've truly worked hard for everything that I believe that I've done so far in my career. I now work for various organisations, so I'm freelance. I work as a presenter and reporter for BBC Sport Wales, for the FAW, I've got an exciting job coming up this summer, which I'm really excited about. I haven't really announced it yet, but it's with the 100 cricket tournament this summer. So I've been so lucky to have so many incredible experiences, and especially with my podcast as well. You know, being a woman working in sport is very difficult. I think I knew it was difficult before I started in the industry, but being in the industry now, it's really opened my eyes to the many challenges that women face every day. Because I don't think I can go a day without seeing a misogynistic comment or a sexist comment, especially online. So that's why I started my podcast. She Has a Goal in Mind, which is all about celebrating women in sport and sharing their stories with the aim of inspiring more young girls and women to either take up sport or to work in the industry, and to show them that, you know, anything is possible. We can thrive in these male-dominated industries and nothing should stop you, you know, and hopefully there are no barriers for you to get there. So yeah, that's kind of my journey into the industry now. And yeah, I've been working as a sports presenter and reporter, and my dream role really for the past year.
What are some of the main lessons that you've learned over your it seems to me like your career has been so compressed, like you've gone from strength to strength, it seems to me, in a very short amount of time. What are some of the main lessons you've learned? I mean, you've already talked about how difficult it is as a woman, but aside from that, what are some of the other things you've had to learn along the way?
I guess for me, it's about taking every single opportunity that comes your way. Of course, my main goal was to work in front of camera as a sports presenter and reporter, but I've also done other roles behind the scenes as well, a camera woman or producer, a floor manager. I think it's really important to learn how every role works, not just the one as the presenter and reporter, because that only makes your job easier then, as you know what's going on behind the scenes as well. So that was probably one of the main things I learned, that, you know, it doesn't happen overnight, although my career has happened really quickly for someone so early on in the career. I've really worked at every aspect of it. You know, through my course, we did so many different aspects of broadcasting as well. So that's really helped me. But yeah, I guess not be afraid to ask for help as well, because there are so many kind people out there that are willing to help. And for being a woman in sport, there are so many male allies out there as well that are there to support you and give you the opportunities as well. So it's not, you know, it's not all, I'm not saying all men are just like no women in sport, but there's so many in there that are so helpful and I'm really grateful for these guys that have given me opportunities as well over the past year and saw something in me, a potential in me to do well. So I guess they're the most things I've learnt this year.
Absolutely. Now, let me just bring something on screen. I hope you can see this. This is from your
Yes.
Instagram. So, do you want to explain for the people watching and for the people listening later on what this is? Because this looks really, really exciting. And if you can't see it because you're listening, it's a post on Gabriella's Instagram. I'll let Gabriella take it away.
Yeah, so as I mentioned, my podcast, I started it with my friend Darcy, that was on my course, a year and a half ago now. So it's been going from strength to strength since we started it. And I started as just a small project at university because I just felt there was a need to highlight and celebrate these stories of women in sport. It started off more in Wales at the start, but it's just progressed worldwide now. We've had guests from all over, from America. So it's been an amazing journey. But a few weeks ago, I think it was, we got contacted by Box Park, which are a big brand throughout London. They're like restaurants, bars, they do events, and they're running this campaign called Women Who Play, which was about celebrating women in sport, in all aspects of sport, really, because at the moment, the women's Euros are about to start in England. So it's an exciting time for women's football. So they wanted to host something to go in line with that. So they contacted us and asked us if we would like to do a live podcast at one of the venues in Croydon, so Box Park Croydon, with Els the Witch, and she's incredible. Els the Witch. I've actually followed her career as well. She started off as a YouTuber for gaming. And now she's just a huge sports personality, and does presenting and reporting and all sorts as well. So I'm so excited to be able to interview her live in front of a live audience, which is it's going to be an incredible experience. But I'm so honoured that someone like this has approached us to host this podcast. It's an honour because it's something we are so passionate about as well. So yeah, I'm so excited about it. It's on the 14th of July in London. So if anyone is around, it'd be amazing if you could come down and support us and see what we do as well. So excited.
How did it feel when you got the request or the message or the email? Because I've had a few things like that happen to me in pageantry, and it's just like, wow, I can't believe anyone actually noticed I exist. Did you have sort of a similar sort of reaction?
Yeah. It was exactly like that, to be honest. I saw the email come through and I screenshot it and sent it to Darcy, my co-host, and we were like, what the hell is going on? Like, how did they find us? Because they'd said that they'd been going through a podcast and they came across us. So it'd be interesting to find out actually how they spotted us. But it's just a bit of disbelief really that these organizations and stuff, want to get in contact with us and actually think that something we have created has some sort of influence as well. So that was really exciting. And in terms of people getting in touch as well, our last podcast guest, Erin Coscarelli, she's a broadcaster in the US. She works for the NFL and has worked on the Super Bowl. And she's incredible. But her team actually got in touch with us and asked if she could come on the podcast. So things like that. It was just like, how on earth did they find us as well? So honestly, it's been it's a pleasure to do the podcast. I love it, and it's a passion of ours. I'm just so proud of how far it's come in the past year and a half. What started as a small project is now being part of a nationwide campaign to support women in sport. I'm so proud of it.
Well, you're definitely doing something right if you're getting noticed like that. I did, when I saw this post, I checked out Els the Witch, and I did see the gaming, and I don't know how much you know about gaming, but esports, not sports, but esports is huge. It is the fastest growing sport in the world, and there's millions and millions of dollars. Like if you play some of these games and you win, you can become a celebrity overnight and millions of dollars. So just a random question, do you know anything about gaming, and do you think you'd be able to commentate on it?
I grew up playing games on PlayStation and Xbox, and my partner Brad is obsessed with gaming. But I know how big esports is and how much it's growing, and probably is going to take over in the future. Honestly, it's
Mm.
getting huge, isn't it? I'd give it a go. I've never done it before. I'd love to get involved in something like that. But it's really interesting, actually, isn't it? How much has grown over the past few years, and yeah, but it's going to be huge.
It's a genuine. I call it a sport. I mean, e-sport, but it's a genuine sport now. And you're
Yeah.
absolutely right. I think it is now probably on par with some of the biggest sports in the world, which probably would surprise a lot of people. Gabriella, how long is it until finals, Miss Universe GB finals? They must
Oh my
just be around the
gosh,
corner now.
a
Sorry to
week.
remind you. A
I know.
week.
Yeah, so a week yesterday, I will have travelled to Cardiff to be at the final, and then the actual final where they announce the winner will be a week tomorrow. So, oh my gosh, yeah, it's absolutely flown by. I can't believe it.
And I don't think any of us can believe it. As I mentioned to you before we went live, it seems to have just sort of crept up. I mean, you obviously, I think the polite word is a seasoned pageant competitor. um, there's other ways that you could put it. Do the nerves hit you different at this stage of your pageant career, or are they exactly the same as they were that first time?
Oh, probably exactly the same, to be honest with you. I think it's more excited nerves though, because I think I'm quite confident in what I have to say and what I can and bring to the pageant. Um, and I guess I know what I'm capable of. So I guess the pressure is, pulling that off, I guess, on the final as well. But no, I'm more excited just to get there and experience Miss Universe Great Britain, meet all the girls. We've met a few of them in the training day that we had a few months ago, which was amazing. But yeah, I'm so excited to meet everyone and just immerse myself in the experience. I can't wait to be back in pageant land as well, and especially this time, no restrictions and everything.
Mm.
So it's good to be back to some normality, I guess, this year. So I'm really excited just to be there now. I think I've got everything sorted, hopefully.
I hope so.
By this point, yeah, it's been a bit of chaotic the last few weeks, but no, I'm excited now. I think now that I've got everything sorted, I'm just looking forward to going there next week. I can't believe it's next week. I keep saying that.
No, I
Next week.
can't. So when does it start?
So it starts next Thursday, the 7th of July. So I think some of the
Right.
girls that obviously it's in Cardiff and Newport, so I don't have that far to travel compared to some girls of course coming from Scotland and everywhere. So they'll
Yeah.
be traveling down on Wednesday. But I'll just be going up on the morning for the empowerment day. And we have an exciting sister fest as well that evening. So we've got a nice little boho festival themed
Oh, wow.
party celebration, and then of course we've got the rehearsals, the charity ball, and then the final. So it's a jam-packed 3 days of pageants, but no, it's exciting. Yeah, I just can't wait to be there now.
Yeah, I think the excitement is bubbling over. If you were fortunate enough to take out the title, I mean, normally the question is, what would you do with it? My question to you is going to be, how on earth are you going to juggle being Miss Universe GB on top of everything else you're already doing?
I guess for me, I'm lucky that I'm freelance and I can juggle my time myself. So I kind of have already planned ahead and put dates in my diary that if that was the case, then they're already in my diary to kind of
Mm.
work around. But I'm lucky that I get to choose what I do really. So there'll be no issues with fitting anything in because yeah, like I said, I can just decide what I go. So I'm lucky to not have to ask permission to go on holidays or anything either. So I can just decide what I want to do, which is good. And especially being so early on in my career as well, I can just decide to do whatever opportunities come up as well. So yeah, there'll be no issues fitting it in. But no, it's exciting. It's an exciting thought, to maybe be possible.
How do you set yourself goals in terms of career, given that you are freelance? So you're pretty much accountable only to yourself. And then just given the speed, which we already talked about, the speed at which your career has sort of exploded, are you able to set goals when that happens, or is it more a case of just taking the opportunities as they come, making the most of them?
Yeah, I guess for me, it's taking just the opportunities that come. Of course, I do set myself certain goals that I would like to do. But again, because I'm freelance, it's down to me sometimes to create my own opportunities as well.
Mm,
I think that's important, and I think the podcast has really helped with that. It's a form of kind of networking as well, which is
yeah,
important in the industry that I'm in. And a lot of jobs have come from that, and from meeting people on the podcast, and for me, networking is really important in creating the opportunities, and I do set goals for myself, definitely, but
yeah.
I have no idea how fast or quickly they will come. So I just take every single opportunity, make the most of it, wherever it is. And I guess it's important to realize that no job is too small as well. I'll
Mhm.
take anything that comes there. You never know where they may lead in the future. That's what I always say, and it's definitely been the case for me in the past. With some jobs that I've done, especially with I'll mention the one I've got coming up. Basically, I've been picked as a host for the 100 cricket tournament for
Yeah,
the team based in Cardiff called Welsh Fire this year. And last year, I actually applied for this role when I was at university and didn't get it because my nerves when I went to this audition in London were just through the roof, honestly, because it was my first chance at a big presenting job, and it was so
yeah.
nerve wracking. But unfortunately, didn't get that role. But my friend on my course did. So I decided, the best thing would be to apply to volunteer as a production assistant as well during that tournament. So I did that. I went and helped out for the few weeks that the games were on,
Mhm.
and I loved the opportunity. I really enjoyed it, and got to watch my friend that I was so proud of that she was having this
Mm.
experience, and I got to learn from her as well. So that was an amazing experience. But fast forward a year, they were taking applications again, and I decided not to apply this time because other work was so busy. I was doing a lot on football and everything. And then about 2 weeks ago, I had an email through from the production team at the 100 saying the person that they chose to do the Cardiff job this year, they had to drop out for some reason, personal reasons. Would I be interested this year in doing the role? And I was like, oh my
Right.
gosh, yeah. I was like, of course, like I'd love to. But I didn't apply just because I applied last year, and I don't know, I just didn't think anything of it really. So I had to have like interviews and stuff again this year for it.
Mhm.
And they've said because I went back and worked as a production assistant last year, that really showed like my commitment and
Yes.
dedication to what I wanted to do, and they liked that about me. So yeah,
Yeah.
they thought of me when they were looking for a host, and now I'm doing that role a year later. So honestly, like, take every single opportunity because you literally never know who's watching, or you never know where it could lead you in the future. And I always say everything happens for a reason. There was a reason I didn't get it
Mm.
last year, and yeah, I couldn't believe it when they got in touch a couple of weeks ago and give me the role this time.
Well, it's exactly the same in pageantry, isn't it? And probably in life
Yeah.
in general. You take the opportunities as they come, you make your own opportunities as well. Work hard, and just be nice to everyone, and then you never know
Yes.
what's going to come around. So this is cricket.
Yeah. So I've never been a huge cricket fan, but I
Okay,
really
so
enjoyed this.
before you get into it, because about half the podcast audience, I know this, is American.
Okay.
Americans have no idea what cricket is. So this will be your toughest challenge yet. Can you
Okay.
explain to an American what cricket is? I know I'm
Oh,
Australian, but can you explain it?
how would you explain cricket? So I guess two teams. There's a batter, there's a bowler, there's a fielding team, and the bowler just bowls to the batter, and then they hit it for like for normal cricket, like days on end sometimes. um, so I guess I don't know if that's the correct way to explain cricket, but
It
the
sounds about right.
hundred is the 100 is slightly different. So um, they've tried to adapt the game to appeal to more families and young people because, of course, people see it as an old man's game. Really, I
Mhm.
think they're all in white and it's quite boring. And I guess that was my thoughts of cricket as well. It was quite boring, honestly. But I really enjoyed the 100. So they get 100 balls through the match, and that's it. So
Oh, okay.
it's a bit more exciting. They're all in bright coloured outfits. So the Welsh Fire are either in pink or like a red colour, and there's like a team in London, there's a team in Manchester. Have all got bright colours. So they try to make it more appealing and like more of a family day out as well. And there's entertainment, so they've got like big acts and DJs throughout the match. So it's a really big, like, exciting day out, and I love what they've done to try and, you know, get more people interested in cricket, because I definitely got not so much interested in Test cricket, but the 100 tournament I really enjoyed last year, and it was exciting. So and it doesn't, you know, take over a few days of your life. It's one day, one afternoon. So it's a really exciting tournament, and to be part of it is huge now in the UK. So last year had a really good reception, and it was quite restricted last year because of COVID rules, but this year they're expecting the full crowds of, I think the Sophia Gardens in Cardiff, where the venue is, can hold about 15,000 fans, so they're hoping that that's going to sell out this year. So yeah, it's exciting to be a part of something so big.
Okay, so just for the Americans who heard that, Test cricket is the 5-day version of cricket. I've heard some Americans get very confused how you can have a sports event that goes for 5 days and can potentially end in a draw. Americans don't like that. So what Gabriella is suggesting is a lot shorter. But when it comes to commentating cricket and commentating any sport, obviously the best situations that you've played a lot of it before, you know the sport in and out. I'm not familiar with cricket. How did you go about, how are you with the terminology and things like that? Because I gotta say, I'd be hopeless.
Honestly, I was, last year when I went, I was useless at it. And some of the girls that were helping with me in the production role, one was from Pakistan. So of course, a huge cricket fan over there. She loves cricket. So she was kind of helping me. Things fell then. She was helping me learn all the rules and everything. So I guess having someone like her there was amazing. But what they've also tried to do is appeal to beginners and people that maybe have not watched cricket before. So they have massive screens that explains everything that's going on in the match, which is really good.
That's clever.
Really helpful. But yeah, of course, I'm going to do my research this time as well to make sure I know the players, because there's some huge names, you know, playing in these matches from all over the world. So it's exciting that, you know, they are trying to appeal to a new generation, I guess, of cricket fans. So yeah, I guess it's just about research for me personally, as I won't be commentating. I'll be like an in-venue host, so I'll be chatting to the crowd on the big screens and things, and just explaining what's going on throughout the day as well to the fans that are there.
Of course, perfect. Are there any sports that you have yet to commentate that you would really like a chance to?
I would love the chance to work on athletics in the future. You know, a massive fan of athletics. I've done it myself growing up. I know a lot of people involved in the sport, and I'd love to work in the Olympics one day. Of course, the Commonwealth Games is coming up, and that's in Birmingham in England. And I'm working on it, but from home. So it's not quite the same experience, unfortunately. But I would love to in the future, maybe, you know, go to one of the games and work on it in some capacity, whether that's commentating or just like pitch side reporting or on the track. I'd love to do something like that in the future. But my work at the moment is heavily football based, I guess. Of course, Wales just qualified for the World Cup. And I was lucky enough to be there at that match against Ukraine. It was an incredible experience to be part of, you know, the history of Wales as well. It was huge, and I couldn't believe that I was there working the match. So football is probably what I'm heavily involved in at the moment.
Yeah, and for some people, watching football is what some people would call soccer as opposed to rugby. Yeah, that's the one that always gets people, because they just think football and they're thinking of two completely different sports. Just aside from the sports broadcasting, I also saw, correct me if I'm wrong, you climbed up some mountains. Am I correct? 3 mountains, I believe.
Yeah.
Do you want to explain to the audience what that was and how it went?
Yeah, of course. Well, of course, a huge part of Miss Universe Great Britain is the Sisterhood, which is a non-profit organisation which helps women's causes worldwide. There'll be a trip to India in September for the winner of Miss Universe Great Britain to see kind of where the money is spent, and how it helps women in India with the Shiro's Hangout to help women who's been affected by acid attacks. So it's a huge part of Miss Universe Great Britain and something I'm passionate about as well. I've been working with Women's Aid for 8 years now, so it's something that's really close to my heart. I've been volunteering for them for I can't even remember before I've started volunteering then, to be honest. It's been a huge part of my life. So having the opportunity to be an ambassador for a sisterhood and fundraise for a sisterhood has been an amazing experience the past few months. I decided to climb the 3 highest peaks in Wales within 24 hours to raise money for a sisterhood, which was an experience. We set off, me and my friend Darcy, who does the podcast with me, we set off at around 4:30, 5 a.m. in the morning. We travelled up the night before up to North Wales, because that's where the first mountain is, Snowdon.
Right.
So we started climbing Snowdon at 5 in the morning. I don't know how long it took us, I can't remember, but it was really hard. It was the first time I'd done Snowdon as well, so it was really, really difficult. I found, but we were told that the second mountain, Cadair Idris is called, we were told that would be the most difficult. So I was like, right, get Snowdon out of the way, and they'll be like, don't worry about that one, I'll just concentrate on Cadair Idris. So we got to the second mountain, and I actually really enjoyed it. The second one, I think the first one was way worse, but the conditions were actually okay as well. We were quite lucky. It was a little bit windy. Of course, the top as well was quite cold.
Yeah.
And then the third mountain, because we travelled all the way from North Wales to South Wales as well during the day to get to each mountain. In between, we had a lot of like Starbucks stops as well to try and refuel. But the third mountain, which is Pen y Fan, that was quite difficult, to be honest. It's the easiest mountain. I've done it a few times, but after doing the other 2, I was really struggling. And I think we got there to the peak about 8 p.m. So it was a long day of climbing mountains. I was shattered after them. But yeah, for a few days, my legs were in bits. I went to Amsterdam about 2 days later because it was my birthday that week. And
Right.
You have to walk around Amsterdam quite a lot. So my
legs,
oh my God.
They love cycling everywhere. And the thing you need for cycling is your legs.
Your legs, yeah. I was struggling. But it was a good experience. I did enjoy it, looking back, but I really struggled. But it was all good. It was for a good cause, and we collectively raised over £1,000, and we split it between my charity, which was the sisterhood, and Darcy's split it towards young epilepsy. So it went to good causes. So that was the main thing. But it was good. I really enjoyed it.
It sounds painful. I recently interviewed Miss Earth from the Netherlands, and I'm just interested to see if you tried this. Did you try a stroopwafel? It's this.
What's that?
No? It's
No.
basically like a small, it's a waffle. In Amsterdam, they make them properly big, the size of your face, but it's dipped in caramel and like fried. It's really, really nice.
Do you know, I've probably seen them, like there's shops everywhere, like sweet shops and things, and they're probably in the windows. But yeah, no, I never tried those, unfortunately.
Well, I think you certainly earned one or two. You were one per mountain. So you started at like 4:30 in the morning, and what time did you get done by? You said 8 at night.
Yeah, it was about 9 p.m. by the time we got to the bottom of the third mountain. So it was around 15 hours in total. That was including travel time and Starbucks stops and things like that as well. So not too bad really in 24 hours. It took nearly half the time or whatever it was. Yeah, 15 hours I think was what we timed. So not too bad. Okay. But yeah.
I mean, you're one of those people. You're one of the proponents of tea as a cure or for everything. Tea fixes everything. Did a cup of tea help afterwards?
In between as well. I was getting tea in from Starbucks. After every mountain, I was stopping and having a tea. So yeah, it definitely pushed me through, I think.
Okay, all right. I thought you were having coffee. No, you were having tea. Tea would be far too soothing for me to climb up a mountain. I would need the coffee.
That's probably why I was so tired doing it, to be honest. I don't like coffee, so it wasn't an option for me.
That's fair enough. Okay, Gabby, just before we get to the end, is there anyone that you want to give a shout out to for supporting you along your journey?
Of course, I'd love to thank Paula for giving me the opportunity. Of course, Paula is the director of Miss Universe Great Britain. So without her, we wouldn't have this incredible platform to share our stories and help people and women around the world. So I'm so grateful to have the opportunity. Of course, my family and friends as well for not only supporting me but putting up with me with everything that I get into. I think they can't keep up sometimes with the things that I do.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, they're always so supportive of everything, and we've got a busload of them come in to the finals, which is so exciting. And of course, my sponsors, the Mine at CF47 and Castellani's, and they're an amazing restaurant in Merthyr Tydfil and the Valleys in Wales. So thankful for them for giving me the opportunity, because of course without them our place wouldn't be secured at the finals, and all the support as well, because I held a fundraiser there and they were so helpful with that, and they helped me raise I've raised about £1,300 for sisterhood,
Wow.
so I'm so proud of that as well. So yeah, thankful to everyone, and of course my partner Brad for again putting up with my pageant chat and all the stress and everything that goes into it as well before competing. So yeah, I'm just grateful for everyone and everyone that's donated and sponsored us to do the climb for the 3 peaks, like come to my fundraiser or bought us a raffle ticket, or just sent me a nice message as well. Just thank you so much to everyone, and thank you for you as well for having us on the Pageant project to share our stories as well, and giving us that platform to share to the world kind of what we do and what we're about.
Of course. Just before we do the final 10, if I was to ask you to reflect, because you mentioned that pageantry has really helped with your confidence. If I ask you to reflect on your pageant journey, all the way back to the first one to now, what do you think the biggest lesson you've learnt about yourself is over that time?
I think when I started in pageantry, like I mentioned, I was very shy, I think, and quite enclosed and didn't really open up or anything. And I didn't realise how powerful my voice was. I kind of just didn't think that my opinions mattered, or like I'm just a girl from Port Talbot in South Wales, and nobody would want to know what I wanted to say. So I guess that the biggest difference is over the years I've kind of learned how important it is to use your voice for things that you believe in, and your voice matters. It doesn't matter where you come from or who you are or what you do for a job or anything. Like your voice is important, and I guess that's the biggest thing I've learned, is that by using your voice and kind of standing up for things that you believe in and are passionate about is so important. And I guess it's taken me a while to kind of learn that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that part of my podcast was to use my voice for something that I thought was that I'm passionate about, is empowering women, not just in sport, but I guess in male-dominated industries as well. So I think that would probably be the biggest thing I've learned, is how important it is to use your voice in no matter what situation it is.
It's slightly ironic that you felt that you were very shy as a young lady, and then you've grown into a sports broadcaster.
Exactly.
Being shy is probably not the best quality to have, but no.
Honestly, looking back, like I could never imagine myself doing this role back then when I started out. So I think it's proof how much I've grown over the past 8 years since I started in pageantry. The difference is incredible to me, to be honest. Like, it's just crazy.
And you're not quite done yet. All right. So let's move to the final 10 questions. I'm sure I asked you this the first time we interviewed. I can't remember your answers, so we'll just go through it like we've never done them before. So question number 1, what is your favorite word?
Okay, my favorite word at the moment is probably, it's a Welsh word called hiraeth, which the only explanation of it is like a longing for home, like home, and there's no literal translation to it in any other language that I'm aware of. It's only a Welsh word, and you can't, there's no word for it in any other language. And it's like, a longing for home. And I guess it's something I feel about. I'm so proud to be Welsh, and to be Welsh representing Wales at Miss Universe Great Britain is an honour, and I'm proud of that as well. So I guess, hiraeth is called. I guess anyone watching can Google it. But yeah, that's the only explanation of it I have, is like that long in for your home. So I think that's my
How
favorite
do
word.
how do you spell it for people who
So
want to Google it?
it's HIRAETH. Hiraeth.
I'll have to look that up. Okay. Question 2. What is your least favorite word?
My least favorite word. Well, that's a difficult one. Oh, I can't think. My least favorite word.
We can circle back to it if something
Yeah,
pops
I'll have a
into your head.
think. I'll have a think. Least favorite word. I'll have a
It's
think.
interesting because
I
most
don't know what I
people
said
actually
last
find
time.
I can't now. I want to go back and
I
find
know.
out. But most people find that question easier to answer than the favorite one because they can think of immediately a word that they just hate. 80% of the time, it's moist. Not saying that yours should be moist.
Yeah. Things like, I guess, yeah, it'd probably be a word like along the lines of that, or
We'll come back
yeah.
to it. We'll come
Okay.
back to it when something pops in your head. So let's move on to question 3, which is in life, what gets you excited? What turns you on?
Probably a good cup of tea. Honestly, everyone knows me, my family and friends, as a teaholic. For my birthday, I got bought, I think it was 480 tea bags for my birthday a month ago. And I've gone through 240 of them already. I finished my last one last night.
So
So
funny
yeah.
how we all have unique tastes, isn't it? Because for me, that would be an absolutely miserable gift. But for you, it's absolute heaven. I'm sure I asked you this before, but I can't remember your answer. So I'll ask again. What is the best flavor of tea?
Oh, I just like a good standard, the English breakfast or Welsh brew. Just the usual.
Okay.
Nothing flavour. I like a good cup of tea, English breakfast tea with soya milk, and a sugar.
Okay. And what's the right way to make it? Because I never know how to make it, and I always offend someone when I try to make it.
Well, I'd say the correct way is tea bag first with the hot water, milk, and then sugar. But I've seen people make it all sorts of ways. I was in a press room a couple of weeks ago, and someone put the sugar in first, and then the hot water, and then the milk, because apparently it's scientific and that's how you're supposed to do it. But no, I don't believe that.
Scientific. So
Yeah,
scientific when it comes to tea, right? Okay, whatever you say. Do you have to take the tea bag out when it's finished steeping? That's the
yes. Oh
question.
gosh,
You
yeah,
have to.
yeah.
Okay.
I put the milk in when the tea bag is still there, just to see
Okay.
what color it's going to come out with as, and then yeah, of course, you've got to remove the tea bag.
Okay. All right. Because people get upset with me because I just leave the tea bag in. I was like, oh well, it just keeps getting stronger. It's better for me. Anyway, all right. So that's what turns you on. Answer is tea. What about what turns you off?
Oh, do you know, hay fever. Having hay fever, definitely, because oh, it's just affected my life so much over the past few weeks. It's horrible. You can't
I
win because
never would have.
I love the hot weather, and we've had lovely
Yeah.
weather here for the past couple of weeks. But it's just affected me so badly with the hay fever. It's awful. So I guess yeah, that would be my answer.
Hmm. I never thought that hay fever would be a big deal in the UK. I just felt it was
Oh
so
gosh.
cold most of the time you wouldn't have a lot of pollen. Is it pollen in the air that's setting you off?
Yes, the pollen. Yeah, for years I've suffered of this since I was since I was a child,
Mm.
really. But as I've grown up, I thought I'd gotten over it a little bit. But this year,
Yeah.
oh, it's been horrific. Honestly,
Mm.
it's like it affects everything. You know, your eyes, your nose, my chest.
Mm.
Especially in the evenings as well. It's quite difficult. So yeah, that would be my answer.
It's just what you need when you talk for a living, isn't it?
Oh,
Something that affects
exactly.
your lungs
Yeah.
and your
Yes.
nose. I Yeah, I sympathize. All right, question 5. What sound or noise do you love?
I love the sound in a stadium of
Yeah.
fans just chanting for either the country or the team, or in particular at the Wales World Cup qualifiers. There's a song called Yma o Hyd, which is a Welsh song. It's kind of become the anthem of Welsh football at the moment, and I think hearing that gives me goosebumps every time I hear it. So I guess yeah, that would be my favorite
Yeah.
sound, is that kind of atmosphere in the stadium.
Yeah, there's nothing quite like the cheer that goes up in a stadium.
Mm.
Nothing like it. Question 6. What sound or noise do you hate?
Do I hate? It just popped in my head. And do you know, like in relation to the hay fever, every time I hear a lawnmower, that triggers me. It makes me want to
Okay.
sneeze. Or I guess, yeah, every time I hear that at the moment, I'm like, oh my gosh, no, please don't cut your grass because it'll make me ill.
You have the same reaction to that I have to leaf blowers. I can't
Ah, okay.
stand leaf blowers. I think they're the most stupid invention. All they do is blow your garbage to your next door neighbor's garbage, back door, and then he blows it back, and you just rake it up or just leave it. Um, anyway, question 7: If you could have any one superpower, what would you pick and why?
I think it would be transportation or something that along the lines of that. So I could just click my fingers and
Okay,
appear in any
teleportation.
country. Or teleportation, yeah. Um, yeah, to go to any country that I'd like to go to. I know I'd love. There's so many places I'd love to visit. So I guess that would be my superpower.
Are you any good at clicking your fingers?
Only on one hand. I can't do this hand. I can do that hand.
Oh wow, that was quite loud. Can't do the left.
I can't do my left hand though. No, slightly no.
That's not bad. That's not bad. I think that's better than me. Can you whistle?
No, I can't whistle at all. Useless.
Yeah. Just,
No.
I think the clicking. We'll leave it at the clicking. Question 8: What job other than your own would you most like to attempt?
That's quite difficult actually, because all I wanted to do was work in sports
What you're
broadcasting,
doing?
so what I'm
Yeah.
doing. So but other than that, maybe in the same kind of industry, but maybe more mainstream. I'd love to present, like in the Champions League
Mhm.
or a bigger like all the work in the Olympics or something like that. That's like a role I'd love to do is be like I'm not sure if you know who Gabby Logan is. She's a really famous sports broadcaster in the UK. She's like on every single sport going. I'd love to
Right.
be like her in the future, maybe like the main presenter for the Olympics or something
Oh
along the
wow.
lines of that.
Okay, so the main host. All right,
Yeah.
absolutely. Question 9: What job would you definitely not like to attempt?
I think anything to do with having kind of like a doctor or surgeon or something along the lines of that. Something that's obviously a huge responsibility.
Hmm.
Um, and something I wouldn't have the capacity to do. I think something like that I wouldn't like to do. Of course, it's an incredible job and they do amazing things, saving people's lives and things.
Yeah.
But I don't think I could cope with something like
Yeah.
that.
Okay, before we go to the final question, shall we circle back to number 2?
Oh
Your
gosh,
least favorite word,
least favorite word. I forgot about that.
apart from hay fever.
Hay
It's
fever,
probably hay fever,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, probably hay fever to be honest, especially lately.
Hay fever or
um,
sniffle. We
yeah,
can leave it as hay fever if you want.
yeah, I'm happy with that. I hate hay fever.
Okay. All right. Final question then. If heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
um, I think I would like to hear. Um, I guess thank you for like everything you do to use in your like. I feel like everything I do in life has a purpose, whether that's in my
Hmm.
career or my personal life. I feel like I need to have a purpose with everything. So I guess thank you for using your life and platforms to
Hmm.
kind of help equality for women all around the world. I guess something along the lines of that. And I'd also like to hear, obviously, um, to see some of my family. So maybe my gran would be there to say, your gran's proud of you when she's there, sort of thing. I think that's kind of what I'd like to hear. Does that make
All
sense?
right. Oh, absolutely. Well, Gabby, that's about it. Thanks for coming on again.
Thank you for having me. I always love coming on. So yes, like thank you for giving us the platform to talk about what's important to us and our journeys to next week. Which I still can't believe, yeah, next week.
You keep saying, I can't believe it's next week, can't believe it's next week, can't believe it's next week. No, it's an absolute pleasure. I've loved watching your journey, and I would wish you, well, I will wish you luck for next
Thank you.
week. Not that I think you need it. That's a weird thing about luck. I don't like wishing it because you don't need it, but I'll wish it for what it's worth. I'll
Thank
keep you
you.
on the line for just a second whilst I hang up with the audience. Thanks everyone for watching, whether it's live or on the replay, and we will speak to you next time. Bye for now. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Sorority Access is now open, so if you'd like to join an amazing group of women and learn how to be the most powerful, confident and impactful queen possible, head to thepageantsorority.com. I'll see you there and see you in the next video.